feel like we should also do ABL 4 first, just to make everybody wait longer.
Oh God, people would hate you so much.
Hello, Tony. Hello, Don. We are now live. I've got Duke, I've got Tyler, and I've got a screen with lottery balls on it. And we will get to Tyler, and I've got. Oh no, I'm getting reverb. I'm hearing my own voice. Lottery balls on it.
I don't know.
Is that me? And we will get to Tyler, and I've got. Oh no, I'm getting reverb. I'm hearing my own voice. Balls on it.
Hmm.
We will get to Tyler. I don't have YouTube up. Does somebody have YouTube up?
Yo, I think Duke. I think it was you somehow.
Duke, you're on mute, man.
Yeah, when he muted, it went away.
Yeah, it did go away when he went on mute, though.
All right. Should be good now.
Check. Yeah, I think we're good. All right, so Frank. Yeah, Frank is here too. ABL 4 Frank is in the house. We've got, 8 guys watching. Yeah, very anxious to see where we're going to be. Well, where some of us are going to be drafting. But, yeah, this is how we do it here in the ABL.
All right, Lenny's on there.
Yeah, full disclosure, it's Duke. Duke has his screen shared. It's not me doing it, but it is Duke. He's got a couple different screens shared and going, and he is pretty much going to find out right when we do. We haven't done this drawing already, and we're now revealing it or anything like that. It's happening as we all see it.
Yeah, and I flipped a coin, and ABL 4 came up heads. So we're going to start with ABL 4.
That's fine. Frank's here. I mean, he's an ABL 4 only guy, I think. So
yeah. So just for full disclosure for everybody who's watching, this is the ABL. This is what I sent out earlier, and I know these names. A couple of these teams have been replaced, but this is just the league admin page from 2022 for ABL 4. And this column right here, the FYPD balls, is just inverse rankings. So the Phillies had the worst record, so they got 14 balls, and so on from there. And if there was a tie, the team with I think I did the lower for ABL 4. I did the lower roto points, got more balls. So. So this is the exact same as you can see the seed column over here is just the consolation bracket standings. So it's just the inverse of the consolation bracket standings. And then all I did was copy the teams and the balls over to this website, which is the same one we used last year, Draft Pick Lottery. And I like Allen said, I'll find out when everybody else does. As soon as I click submit, it'll bring up another screen, and then hopefully, as long as it does what it's supposed to do, we can just click one by one and see who gets what pick. You guys ready to roll?
Yes, sir.
All right, here we go. All right, so we'll go backwards from pick 14 to pick 1. And
ABL 4.
This is ABL 4, not ABL, FYI.
So Reds, all right.
So yeah, Lenny had 3 balls, and he's
lucky.
going to end up with pick 14 in the ABL 4 draft. And remember, there wasn't a lot of draft pick trading in ABL 4, but in fact, none of the lottery picks were traded during the season. But it'll be the same draft order for rounds 2 through 5 as well. So keep that in mind. All right, pick 13.
Ooh.
There's the Marlins. That's not the Tony Marlins. I can't remember who the Marlins are in ABL 4.
I think he's fairly new, right? The Marlins owner?
Yeah, it's someone new, yeah.
Maybe Eric or something like that. I don't want to get
I can't remember. I can look here. ABL 4 Marlins. Brian?
That sounds right, yeah.
And all right, pick 12. Ooh, 13 balls.
Oh.
The 12th pick.
Wow, he was second. Oh my goodness.
Another new owner too. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember who's the Rays in ABL
That's
4.
Phil on the sheet. I have the sheet pulled up, so that's what I'm referencing with Phil. It says, I don't know if that's true still.
I think it was Phil. Wasn't it Phil that came on the pod? It was Phil and the White Sox. They came on the pod real early, and I think both those guys are gone now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hurts. 13 balls.
Yeah,
you end up the 12th pick.
Tough.
But hey, that's the way it goes.
Yeah,
100%.
Giants had 2 balls. They have the 11th pick.
Couple of spots up.
Somebody.
Jordan's got
who has 1 ball? I don't remember.
Jordan and the Pirates. He's got to be happy.
Jordan's looking pretty good for him so far. So he's going to end up with a single-digit pick with 1 ball.
Crazy.
I think that's Chris. Chris is in the best ball we're doing right now. All right, pick 9. There's Jordan.
Crazy.
So we had a couple guys just join the stream. Just want to get that out there again, that this is ABL 4. If you're just tuning into this now, this is the ABL 4 order. We have not done ABL yet. And there's the Pirates at 9.
So the 1, 2, 3 ball teams are all off the board. Braves. That's Vinny. That's Tony's buddy, right?
Yeah, Vince.
Yep. Vincent. Does he go by Vincent?
Vince.
So he ends up with pick 8.
Hey, Jeff.
First team that fell where they were supposed to.
Yeah. All right, pick 7 for ABL 4.
Jeez,
White Sox.
Man,
that's one of the new owners too. I can't remember his name either, but yeah, that hurts. 12 balls. I guess it's not. It could be worse. I guess could be 13 balls and pick 12.
Yeah, that's.
All right, Blue Jays 8 balls, right about where they should be.
Yep.
Pick 5. Rangers with 9 balls. That's one of the new owners too.
Yeah. Duke, you got to be pretty happy right now.
Yeah, I just realized that. Oh wait, I'm in this.
I keep looking. I'm like, oh god, Duke's the one.
I'm not used to being in lotteries, so this is new to me.
Yeah,
I'm used to winning. Yeah, I'm just used to winning.
But yeah, the Athletics have not come up yet. There's our last place team, the Phillies, 14 balls.
Yeah, it's
pick
you,
4.
Duke, and then let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9. Who's got 10? So it's you, it's Baltimore, and who's ever got 11, and Houston. So Oakland, Baltimore, and Houston are left.
All right, I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed. Although, I mean, honestly, with like the way even if I did have the first pick, I have no idea who I would take. Because those like 4.
It's a weird draft.
Yeah,
it's a weird draft.
I think pretty much anybody with a pick on the board here is going to end up with a good prospect.
Yeah.
Orioles. I really don't want the first pick because then everybody's going to think I'm like.
Yeah, I know. It's like worst case scenario.
We took several minutes before we started this. Duke's like, just so everybody could be sure that I'm not screwing around here, that he's going to draw himself number 1.
Yeah, I had to refresh it like 6 or 7 times to get the first pick. Oh, geez.
All right. Had to work out that way. Had to. This would not be ABL if it didn't work out that way.
Awesome.
All right, that's big time news for you.
So there's your ABL 4.
It'll be interesting though, because like how realistically, like with the ABL 4 rules, how valuable actually is that, right? Because like theoretically, you're picking someone that maybe will have an impact year 4 at best, right?
I think this year is actually might be for FYPD guys. I think this year might actually be pretty valuable because this year and next year, because a lot of these guys, if they debut in year 4, you can still keep them.
Yep.
And if they, if they don't debut for 3 years, then obviously you can keep him as one of your prospects. So, depending on how fast they like, if you pick a guy who promotes like really fast and like he debuts next season, like in 2024, then you're kind of screwed because you're going to get like one full season out of him in year 4, right? But most guys aren't going to promote the year after they get drafted. So or I guess 2 years.
Is this the one where we're doing the 2 classes as well, the 2 J classes? Yeah. Right. Yeah. So that certainly is going to play a role too, even more so. I feel like in this league than Cool.
Oh shoot!
The rigged and fixed comments did come flooding in, though. Just so you know.
Yeah, I would expect
definitely.
I would expect nothing less. Oh man, my browser just crashed with all the ABL data in there. Can we just do it tomorrow?
Oh man!
All right. So for everybody joining late, there's no way to rig this. This is how I entered the information. So the team, I entered the teams in inverse order. It should match this spreadsheet here. This is the 2022 league admin page. This column right here is the inverse of the standings. That's how many. So the Angels had the worst record. They get the most balls. All I did was enter that information over here. So there's no way that I can like just do this multiple times to benefit myself or anybody else. I'm finding out when everybody else does. So, oops, what did I just do? Oh, okay, I just hit submit. All right, so this is ABL, and we'll start. No, I'm just kidding. We won't start at the top. We'll start with pick 14 and see what we got going here. You guys ready?
Here we go.
Finally. It's been 2 long months.
Yeah, this is it.
A lot of guys watching here got skin in this one. This is the big one.
Let's do it.
All right. There is
Oh, Mark.
one of Mark 13 ball.
Mark, what did Mark call? He called 7 and 10, I think.
It's almost about what he said, man. And he got hit with that a little bit last year too. So
man,
a repeat for Mark.
I feel for him.
He was okay. I mean, to be fair, he was okay in year 2, but
just okay.
Yeah, that's rough. Good way to start off the lottery. All right, so pick 13. There's Ray. He had 6 balls.
Okay.
He ends up with pick 13. And like I said earlier, I don't think pretty much anybody with a lottery pick is going to get a really good prospect.
Yeah.
This draft is so deep, especially with 2 international classes.
Yep.
But yeah, that does hurt a little bit for Mark. All right, the Rays end up where they should. They had 3 balls. They get pick 12. Here, actually, before we go any further, I'm going to go back to. I'm just going to send this out to everybody on the ABL 4.
Good idea.
Let me just screenshot this real quick.
Rays are one of the few ABL teams we haven't kind of seen around in a little bit. Hasn't checked in on tracks since early November. And Dom is never really a big Discord guy, but definitely haven't seen him on Discord. If you do, Dom, happen to watch the pod video, but not check in, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear from the Rays a little bit.
All right, so the ABL 4 results were just sent out to everybody. All right, pick 11. Dodgers via the Nats.
Mets pick has not been drawn yet, Harry. You're watching it live just as we're doing it.
Man, that's a big drop for them too.
Dodgers.
If I end up with the first pick with 2 balls,
in both leagues. Yeah, that.
Yeah, maybe I might have to redo it.
Let's just think what happened.
Yeah, Jeff had one ball and I had two, so we both made it into the top 10. There's the card.
Again, Mark.
God.
What have you done, Mark?
He called the 10. He called the 10. He just didn't call the 14.
Yeah, he's in 7 and 10.
Oh my goodness.
Mark just said unbelievable.
Oh, the AL Central is a feeling for you, man. Goodness.
Did Mark have? I can't remember. Did he have 2 or 3 lottery picks?
I think just 2.
I think it was 2, but it was like a ton of balls. Yeah, it was 23 total balls.
Yeah.
Well, he nailed the pick 10. Didn't he say pick 10?
He said pick 7.
10 and 7. Sorry, Mark. Oh, I'm sorry, man. That sucks. You'll make do, but that's rough.
Yeah. Still rough.
All right. Pick 9. There's the Cardinals.
There's Jeff.
Via the Jays.
I don't know if my dad is one of the people watching, but he's got
he's still alive.
Guaranteed a top 8 pick. Yeah.
Yep.
He'll be happy to learn that.
All right, pick 8.
There it is.
Right where it should be.
Yep.
And oh my god. Just looking at Discord.
Yeah, I can't even imagine what's happening right now. I don't have it pulled up.
All right, pick 7. There's Brendan via Lenny.
Bumped up a bunch.
I want my freaking pick to show up.
That's really something.
Oh my god.
That sucks.
Yep. So there, Don. He had 8 balls. He ended up right about where he probably should be.
Yeah.
What's the problem, Tony? Tony. Oh, what is everyone drinking? Never mind. White Sox at 5.
Hold on. I need to get another drink before we go any further.
Oh man.
It's like making I'm not even in this, and like it's making me nervous now.
I know. My palms are starting to sweat.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Now my face is red from the sun in the Bahamas.
Oh man.
I don't even want to look at the YouTube chat right now.
I have them both.
I think the Discord is worse. Yeah.
All right, pick 4. Jesus Christ.
Oh man.
The Tigers.
Right. Tigers moved up a bunch though. There's a little AL Central love. I like that.
John will like that.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my god. This is gonna be. Remember the year that the Spurs got the ball to draft Tim Duncan?
Yeah.
And they had like 1 ball, but the Clippers had like 30 or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what this is gonna be.
This is also gonna be a YouTube highlight somewhere that people are gonna share.
So who's left? Me and who else?
Let's see. What number are we
Mets?
missing? 1.
No, the Mets pick is right here.
We're missing.
Oh yeah, I missed that. Yeah.
What here? It says. Wait, who's 2?
Oh,
that's
Steven.
you.
The O's, maybe?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Missing 12. Oh, that's Tony's pick. Whoever has Tony's pick.
Oh, Marlins, and Steven has Marlins. Yeah.
So it's me or Steven with the first pick.
So it's not the O's pick, but it will be. Oh man.
All right, here we go.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Oh my god!
This is the greatest thing ever.
How?
This is the greatest thing ever. I love it.
Especially with the pre-live stuff. Like I want to
I
bring
know,
the screens
I
up
know.
already, so nobody could say I'm fucking around, and that's exactly
I
what
know.
we did. And,
This is
That's the
insane.
worst part is we have all that unrecorded stuff.
yeah.
Right, this is not rigged. This is not rigged.
Oh man.
That
This isn't like a fun one where we were just gonna do this and just to mess with Tony or whatever. Like
I need somebody who's good at math. Somebody who's good at math needs to do the math on what are the chances of me getting the number one pick in both
probability.
leagues.
Yeah, we got to get Josh or Squib in here on that.
It's got to be like
It's
insane
very small.
odds.
Guy just gets back from the Bahamas, and bam, two first overall picks. Living good, man.
Nuts.
Crushing the leagues, living good.
Absolutely nuts. I grow up, I want to be you.
Brendan's quoting 1.9%.
It's got to be lower than that.
So yeah, I would think maybe that's for one of them, but not to hit them for both.
All right, trading is open for both leagues. I can hang out for a couple more minutes if we want to kind of discuss some trades that start rolling through.
I think there's going to be some.
I'm going to go ahead and post that on both boards.
I've got a couple that I think might be waiting on me to send them.
How do you make text bold in Discord? Is it just one underline?
You can just Control B.
Yeah,
oh, really?
Yeah, and it'll do it for you.
So if I do Command B, it'll make it bold automatically. Oh, that's cool.
Right?
I did not know that.
That's the X, just the asterisk.
Yeah, Tyler, you've taught us both something tonight. You taught me how to do the blurry thing. And, yeah.
I mean, I use literally Discord for a living, so if I didn't know how to do that, it'd be pretty sad.
Whoa, 34 notifications now, all of a sudden. All trades involving the Marlins.
Yeah, I'm getting the same thing. It's all popping up. Boy, oh boy.
I guess I'll take.
Crazy.
I've got some that have been proposed to me. I'll accept. So I will say, I told Tyler I was going to do it. I gave John the Tigers a 3rd round pick for Gavin Lux. 20. I think it'll be 22 after inflation. But what I was saying to Tyler was I am terrified at how the auction looks. I don't think it's going to end up looking a ton better. And I don't know that this is going to be the year I wanted to have a bunch of money for the auction. So I went ahead and traded a pick for a big leaguer to try to shore up the infield a little bit. What else we got here?
I like the that house trade is interesting for you.
Who'd Tony get per house? Yeah, I can bring it up here.
Send some to Allen so Allen can tell you.
Yeah, so I gave Tony Manuel Margot, who he lost his triple eligibility. He's a center and right now. I gave him, Zach McKinstry, 2nd, 3rd, and short. And then Palante, who's a sparp, and Urena, who's a sparp. And I got Brady House and Mason Montgomery. I told Tony, and Tony won't care, that I'm divulging what we talked about. I told Tony, hey, if you want to keep shopping him for a few days and see, because we've agreed to this a few days ago, but like there's still a few days left before we can trade. If you want to find a better deal, Tony said no. We agreed to it. This is what I'm going to do. And Tony, I know you're watching, and I told you this in the chat. He came to me. He's like, I'm not getting any offers for House. I can't believe it. I'm not getting any offers. I said, you put him on the block an hour ago. It was like 1 hour ago. And he was upset that he hadn't gotten enough offers. I said, well, what do you want for him? And, then we got the ball rolling. I said, man, if you just want to let him float for a few more days, give people time to read that message and make some offers. But Tony's impatience, and I'll take the gamble on House. I know he had the terrible year. He was really bad, but he had COVID. He had a injury. He's super young. I'll roll the dice on him. I'm giving up a few big leaguers, but nobody that I feel like was irreplaceable.
Yeah, and I mean Mason Montgomery's an interesting prospect too. So it's not like you're just getting Brady House.
The other one I've agreed to so far. We haven't done it yet in tracks, but I'm going to give away my farm system for Bobby Witt to the Braves. I'm trading Manzardo, who is just going to kill me because I love him. I'm trading Hoagland and Eater and Dre Jameson. And there was one more. Mike Massey, the Royal second baseman. I'm going to get Bobby Witt and JJ Goss back, another Rays pitcher.
Yeah. What's Witt's salary, like $20 or something?
He'll be 22 after inflation,
Yeah.
and I'll get to extend him as long as I want. So it's again, to me, Witt is a top 10 overall dynasty player, maybe towards the back end of the 10, but he's top 10 for me. I think Manzardo is a really high prospect, but I'm leaning on the guy that's done it in the majors, just had a good rookie season, pretty fairly priced.
You sent Manzardo for Witt as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good win-win.
Yeah.
That's a lot of really interesting. Manzardo is like getting some top 10 love out there. So that's who was that the Braves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake.
And he needs to cut a little money. He's set to be over the cap after inflation kicks in. So I understand. But Jake was not easy. He knew exactly what he wanted for Bobby. Like he did. He wasn't going to trade him just to trade him. Like he wanted to get what he wanted, and he did. And he squeezed me. I was this close to not doing it because I really just. But it's Bobby Witt, and I really like him, and I feel like $22 is pretty good to lock up a shortstop like that. So
yeah,
I'll roll the dice.
Yeah, it's like bird in the hand, two in the bush, right?
Yeah.
So I like that for both you guys, actually.
What else did we have?
So so the first one that was processed was the one that we just talked about. The next one was between the A's and the Cardinals. Betancourt for Josh Baez. I don't really know anything about Josh Baez.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a relatively minor deal there. And then Tony dealt Andrews, I don't think he's been signed by anybody yet, for
Don't think so, no.
a couple of young guys from Kansas City in a 5th round pick. Dermis Garcia is kind of an interesting dude. Depending on what Oakland does at first base with Seth Brown, like I could see Garcia getting maybe some playing time this year. So, and he definitely has power. So that could work out well for Tony. Looks like most of these deals are Tony. Tony made a deal with the Brewers. He sent Derek Hall and Michael Wacha for some draft picks. And the next two, these were like two set. We talked about both of these guys, Canario and I don't know how you say his name, Doncone. Tony was looking to move some more prospects, and I actually liked all of the prospects he was trying to move. These two I like the most. I made the Canario deal before I realized that he had like a horrific ankle injury over the winter.
Yeah.
But I still, even after I read that, I was like, whatever. I still would have made that deal.
Okay.
He's like 22 in AAA, so even if he misses most of this year, he's still going to be young when he debuts, and as long as he can fully recover, he's potentially top 100 prospect. So, and then Doncone is like super young, but and he didn't have a great year, but he had an okay year for his first year in the U.S. And he's just kind of interesting. I've had my eye on him. Actually, I picked him up from the wire like at the beginning of the year, and then kind of got impatient and had to drop some guys. So I dropped him, and then so I reacquired Doncone.
Looks like we had a huge trade in ABL 4. Sorry to interrupt, Duke, but this was a pretty big one.
Yeah, I'll just pull it. I can pull ABL 4 up.
The Royals are going to send Brian Reynolds, Jose Miranda, and Brian Bello to the D-backs for Michael Harris and a 24 third rounder.
Oh yeah, I heard about this one.
Yeah, those are some names.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a huge deal. Harris, I think, is $2.
Yeah, that's giant.
Bello and Miranda are obviously cheap. Reynolds, I think, is like 30 or 32, something like that this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, Jeff is definitely rolling the dice that Harris is gonna regress maybe a bit this year and he's trying to sell high, I think.
Or even, I mean, with Bello, like potentially, does he take another step next year?
Yeah.
It'd be decent. I did obviously watching Miranda play a bunch. I'd love for him to, play as well as he did at times last year. That would obviously be awesome. So yeah, I think that's a great deal for Jeff. And obviously some of those players moving away and out of Kansas City, I like to see that in Central. So
is Brendan Kansas? He's not Kansas City in ABL 4, is he?
I think he's the Yankees in ABL 4.
He's in that one. Yeah.
That's Frank here in
oh
in
yeah,
the Yahoo
right.
chat, or the YouTube chat.
Yeah.
I would suspect that Frank was not planning on keeping Reynolds.
Yeah, probably not.
And I would suspect Jeff is. That's the only way that deal kind of jives in my head.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, Frank said he's a sucker for Harris, so that makes sense.
I mean,
well, it's different, right? When it's not a hold forever, or even not even a hold forever, but just longer than 4 years, right? Like, taking that into consideration too. Jeff obviously was in the championship last year. That makes a big difference. So just giving up Harris, like Harris and Reynolds are probably going to have, from a stat perspective, you would hope, a pretty similar production cycle. So, and then getting Miranda and Bello, I think that only helps him in terms of his chances.
Yeah, I think Jeff probably wouldn't have done that deal if he couldn't keep Reynolds, and
correct.
He probably has like the payroll flexibility to keep all three of those guys, and obviously he's going to get more production out of those three guys than Frank is out of Michael Harris. But if like I said, if Frank wasn't going to keep Reynolds anyway, then it makes a lot of sense for him too.
Yeah, correct.
There's been a few more interesting ABL ones just in the last couple minutes. Garrett Cole on the move, and one of them.
Yes, that was a massive. That was like the Orioles, and who else was that?
Sam, the Rangers. I think. I just glanced at it. I could be wrong.
Several deals. Oh, here we go.
Yeah. What do we got here?
Yeah, it was Mark and Sam.
Yeah, there we go. I'll just put it right at the top. So Mark sent Walker and Cole to Sam for Horner, a 5th rounder, Wes Kath, and Isaac Pacheco.
Yep.
That's a big deal. Probably who's going to, I don't know if you want to pencil Cole in as the probable number 1 SP, but top 5 starting pitcher going from one team to another.
I don't know who you'd put ahead of him.
You can't assume health for DeGrom anymore. You just can't. So it would be tough to.
What's Walker's salary?
That's what I was looking up. It's $7, which is for him is pretty good. Like that's what I was interested in, like Sam's just overall roster. And it's interesting because he certainly has the room. Even after acquiring those two, he still only used 167 prior inflation, and he has 18 total players. So even after inflation, he'll still have some room to work in the draft.
I like it for Sam. Yeah, I like it for Sam.
He'll need to, which he obviously knows this, but he'll just need to fill in those the day-to-day guys.
Yeah,
and maybe one more mid to upper tier guy, but then the day-to-day guys for sure. But yeah, he's got the makings of a decent roster right now for sure.
I don't know much about Kath or Pacheco. I mean, I've heard the names before, but that could be another one where if Mark was planning on if he was just trying to dump Cole, then he got something. And Horner's obviously an interesting young player. So,
yeah, I mean, he doesn't have, just looking at his roster now, he only has 2 contracts over $20. And I know he's shopping. One of them's Moncada, and I know he's shopping him right now. So he may, I don't know if he'll drop him, maybe. And then the other one,
can't find a buyer, I bet he probably drops him.
Yeah, that would be my assumption too. And then Sandy, who's sitting at 29, who he's obviously not getting rid of. So other than that, he's at 197, and he's at 30. Was that 34 players right now with the expansion?
Yeah, so he's gonna have some money to spend in the auction for not very many players.
Yeah, so he's sitting in a. He doesn't necessarily have a lot of like top impact players, but he's deep for sure. So interesting trade.
And then looks like a 1-for-1. Steven sent Keller to. I actually like Keller a lot this year as a sleeper, and I think his salary is like $9 or something.
It is 12.
12. Okay, yeah, it's a little higher than I thought, but I'd still probably keep him at $12. And then Peguero's, I'm not sure what he's going to turn into.
I know Zach likes him.
Yeah, it's just there's so many young players for the Pirates. I just don't know where they're gonna all get playing time.
Yeah, that's the hard part.
Just
saw your trade come through, Allen. That Bobby trade.
Yeah, I sent it.
Kind of talked about it already, but
it'll be you got Lux too.
Yeah, I went ahead and sent a 3rd rounder next year for Lux. He's a little pricey, but I was telling Tyler beforehand, like, man, the more I look at the auction, the potential for the auction, this is probably not the year I wanted to have all this money to spend. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be as good as I want it to be. So fill some gaps while I can without having to fight other people in the auction.
Yeah, it's interesting to me that, like, I'm sure there are plenty of people who share that same sentiment with you, Allen, that are like, I don't want to fight people in the auction, right? For certain people. And I feel like it's like, well, it was like every day someone was posting a screenshot of some position in Discord.
It's always Adam.
I'm trying to trade, and then look at what you could get in the auction, right? Oh, it's a dumpster fire. And it's interesting because I feel like in looking at these trades, there are not a lot of those outside of kind of the bobbies, so to speak. There weren't a lot of those guys moved. So I'm interested if those teams are just going to end up dropping those guys, which my assumption would be they potentially will, which obviously changes the player pool. But then 2, you're kind of in a position now where you bought yours, you paid the price, you don't need to fight people. How does that change the auction for someone like me specifically, who, as we talked about before, obviously full disclosure, like there's certainly people that I'm looking to potentially drop and add to the player pool. How many other teams are looking to do that too? It'll just be interesting to see what it ends up being like.
Yeah. I thought about it.
What's Lux's salary?
He's going to be 22, I think.
Is he on a contract or?
No, this would be he's on a first.
Gotcha.
20 and first. Nope.
So I'm not hooked.
Second base is kind of a wasteland, so I totally get your thought process there.
And roster resource right now has him at shortstop, interestingly enough. So if he were to gain shortstop over the course of the season as well, maybe adds just one more half notch in the belt of him being somewhat valuable. He is imaginary brick wall was saying Lux might be in danger of going Starlin Castro on us, and that he's never great at anything, but good enough to keep a major league job. And there'll be times where he can go off and tantalize with that upside, but he never really reaches it. And you can kind of see a path to that for Lux, but he did have a great eye. He didn't really hit the ball very hard, but he can run. Decent enough runner, great eye. Maybe there's some upside left.
He plays for the Dodgers.
Yeah. In a great lineup.
Yeah, I mean, if he can find like 15 to 20 home run power, then he's pretty valuable.
Yes, 100%.
And that's what I need him to do, because I have a 3-year bet going with Jeff. He's going to score more points than
just sitting waiting for that 3 years.
To tell Marte.
Oh yeah.
So I think I'm feeling pretty good about it the way Marte's been the last 2 years, but
Yeah.
I need to put him away this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's your at the top. There's your Witt deal that we talked about. I mean, that's exactly what Jake needs to get for Witt.
I would like, Duke, your personal thoughts on Dre, because when I picked him up last year off the wire, I think you went in and tried to pick him up like the very next day and saw that I had picked him up. Like, there's no way that you think he was as good as his 24 inning sample last year. Or am I crazy in thinking that? Is he that good?
Here's my, and I think I've said this in the chat a couple times. All these Diamondbacks pitching prospects I'm buying all of them, because I think they play in like El Paso and Albuquerque for AA and AAA. And those are like two of the most hitter-friendly stadiums in all of minor league baseball. You can actually go into, I can't remember which one of the websites has park factors for the minor league stadiums. Mm-hmm. And if you look at those two, they're two among the highest in those leagues in general. The Texas League, or whatever it's called now, in AA, and then the I can't remember what they call the league where Albuquerque plays, but
I think it's the PCL.
Yeah, those are like super hitter friendly leagues too. So if you look at their stats, they all just got destroyed in AA and AAA. And I'm Jameson among them. He was really hot too. It was 2 years ago when you snagged him in ABL.
Yeah,
he was like a big pop up guy. Pirates Prospect or Prospects Live was like touting him big time.
All about him, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he got crushed. He did get crushed, and then he came up and he was dynamite in the majors.
Yeah. And I think that's going to happen. And I think that's going to happen to all those guys. Like, I think they're way better pitchers than people are giving them credit for. So
that's fair.
So I'm trying to buy in a couple leagues. I've bought D-backs pitching prospects because people are looking at their stats right now and thinking, "Oh my God, this guy is garbage," and they're basically giving them away. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think Jameson's an ace or anything like that, but I think he's going to be a good major leaguer. And I'm assuming that's kind of what Jake was thinking too.
I actually had to push him off of Ashby and onto Dre, and that'll be, a few years from now, I'll be looking and seeing if that was the right move to make. But I like Ashby. I don't know why I like him so much more than Dre. He's going to be a little bit more expensive, but I just feel like I'd rather have the lefty with the pedigree than the.
I like Ashby more than Jameson too. So
the pop-up guy.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, unless you guys got anything else, I think that's about it for the trade flurry.
Let me see if there's anything else here.
If there's any more?
Any pop up?
Nope.
That's it.
I got nothing else.
Yeah, right. We'll check ABL for real quick just to make sure there's nothing else that came through.
Yeah, I don't want to miss another monster over there. Bobby
Lauer.
No, Bobby was not on the move in the other one, right? I have him in ABL 4. Yeah, I'm not trading him. I was going to say, Bobby's on the move in both. No, he's not. He's coming to me in both. Yeah.
Jeff making some moves there, too, for Lauer. So
yeah.
He's packing up.
He is. He's already loading up.
He's been trying hard to make trades. We need more action in ABL 4, so hopefully we can, now that the winter meetings are open, hopefully we can kind of get things going a little bit more in that league.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing something like this for ABL, something where it's just a few of us sitting around talking about it rather than here's the stats that happened this week. That just got so boring to do for ABL and ABL 4. I just stopped doing it for ABL 4. And then we got nothing the rest of the year. So, yeah, it would be nice to maybe do something like this for 4 every so often as well.
Yeah, it'd be cool to maybe get some of the ABL 4 guys on the podcast and chat a little bit about that league.
Be awesome.
All right, boys, there's your draft order. Thanks, Duke. Thanks, Tyler. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And
Happy New Year,
see you guys next time. Yep.
Yeah, happy New Year's. See you guys.